I found a love for me. Darling, just dive right in, follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me.
My son Brian is a middle child of 3 boys. He had been experiencing anxiety and depression the last 2 years of high school. Depression, like other health issues, affects the entire family, and together we supported Brian. Losing a child has to be one of the worst things a parent can experience in life. Losing a child to suicide complicates the situation. There are many layers, so much guilt, and many unanswered questions. What I have come to learn about suicide is that it is not a rational decision. Depression is an illness, and it takes away a person's ability to think rationally. Brian did not want to die. He wanted to end his pain. Unfortunately, depression and anxiety are uncomfortable topics, and we need to change this mentality and make mental health okay to discuss. Until we remove the stigma, young people will be ashamed to speak about their issues, unwilling to see a therapist or take prescribed medication. Instead, they will make unhealthy choices, such as self-medicating with drugs and alcohol. After Brian passed, many students share their stories of how Brian would take time from his friends to sit and talk with them. They said Brian just knew when they were suffering. They mentioned how a smile would brighten their day and give them hope. Through the BTH Foundation, we want to bring hope to others that are struggling. Together as a community, we can reduce the stigma associated with depression and anxiety, making it more likely that children will reach out for help. Someone recently thanked me for bringing to light the importance of mental health. She said, "You have been blessed with the wonderful gift of being able to make people feel comfortable and included, but you have also been handed the worst in life, the loss of a child." So what gets me through each day? My faith, family, and friends. Thich Nhat Hanh, a Buddhist monk, said it best in his book, No Death, No Fear. When we lose someone we love, we should remember that the person has not become nothing. Something cannot become nothing, and nothing cannot become something. Science can help us understand this, because matter cannot be destroyed. It can become energy, and energy can become matter, but it cannot be destroyed. In the same way, our loved one was not destroyed. He has just taken on another form. That form may be a cloud, a child, or the breeze. We can see our loved one in everything. I believe Brian is with me every day. I feel Brian's energy. My other 2 sons are genetically and spiritually part of Brian. We will be able to move forward from this tragedy by focusing on the good, the BreakTheHold Foundation, our friends and family. Please remember to be kind. You never know what someone else is going through.
January 23rd, 2018 was to date the saddest, most life-changing day I have ever experienced. That was the day my son Brian fell victim to his battle with depression. That was the day my son Brian died. BTH symbolizes break the hold on mental illness, but never forget it is in memory of and established with the strength from Brian Thomas Halloran, the middle of my 3 sons. Brian was a great young man with many talents, many friends, and a loving family. In other words, he was a son, just like anybody's son, like your son. Brian had a great presence to him, was a joy to be around, and had a smile that would light up a room. He was my middle son and will forever be 19 years old, handsome, strong, caring, and full of love for life. Unfortunately, and with much family and community pain, Brian passed away on January 23rd, 2018 from depression by suicide. Brian was a freshman at the University of South Carolina, a Capstone Scholar Award winner, when he plummeted to an emotional low that we were never fully aware of. Before I knew it, a police officer knocked on my door with news that would alter our lives forever. He said, "Mr. Halloran, the South Carolina police have notified us that your son Brian has died by suicide." That moment seems to be stuck in time and in my head as I continually replay the conversation. First thought and most hopeful thought, are you sure it's Brian? Second thought is, how can I possibly survive this information? What can I do? Third thought, how am I going to tell the rest of my family? Brian's mother and 2 brothers, one of whom is away at college. What am I to do with the rest of my life? That evening and every day since, I would categorize as a horribly sad movie that does not stop playing. The reality of our situation is extremely difficult to bear and terribly hard to understand. How does one accept the fact that this brilliant young man, a light in our lives, is gone by his own hand because he was in so much pain and confusion at that particular moment? Any attempt to rationalize the situation leads to great frustration and sadness, as we all know that Brian was not thinking rationally at that time. He felt there was no way out of the pain and confusion and that it would never end. This horrible disease, depression, can break down one's resilience over time and can turn rational thought into irrational behavior. Well, I am here to say loudly, things can change, things can get better. Fight for your place in this world and fight for your own happiness. Trust someone, reach out. We won't let you down. I will fight alongside you. I will walk with you in this fight. It is not a fight that we can lose, but it is one to win. The odds are in your favor and the rewards are immense. Never say it's too late, for it is never too late, not when we have each other and we are still here on God's earth. My son Brian would not encourage others to take a similar path. He would conversely and aggressively encourage others to fight on, that his choice is not the right choice, but a choice made out of hopelessness. I am here to help provide hope for all those suffering. To that end, we as a family and we as a community are fighting back and focusing our efforts on being that helping hand. We know what you are going through as we have lived it. We've established the BTH Foundation to help raise the conversation, to educate our teens and young adults, and to advocate for additional resources to fight the affliction of mental health conditions. We need to unite in this mission of mental wellness. You are all in our thoughts. I thank you for joining us on this journey. I wish I knew then what I know now. Brian Halloran, proud father of Brian Thomas Halloran.
I've been on the low, I've been taking my time. I feel like I'm out of my mind. It feel like my life ain't mine. Who can relate? Woo! I've been on the low, I've been taking my time. I feel like I'm out of my mind. It feel like my life ain't mine. I finally wanna be alive.